Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Marcus from Infosec Governance and we specialise in improving awareness security within the businesses. If you've never heard of what internal audits are before, or you're going to start the process of achieving an ISO standard, internal audits are a necessary part which you must understand when it comes to it. They are generally based around an information security management system such as an ISMS or a quality management system, QMS. Today we're going to talk about what an internal audit is, how you carry out these internal audits, how external and internal audits differ, and what is the process and what type of audits can be achieved. When it comes to performing an internal audit, the audit can be thought of a review of the business in specific areas, usually against various ISO controls, but this can change depending upon the requirement of your business. The internal audit is defined as an independent and objective review that can be performed by the business itself, if the person has the necessary skills, or by an outsourced business if needed. The internal audit is designed to review the business and look to ensure that the business is meeting the necessary requirements, and if required, look for areas of improvement to aid further value to your business as you move forward and continue to improve. If the internal audits find that the business is not meeting the requirements in certain areas, then these areas must be logged and an action plan must be put in place to remediate these non-compliances moving forward. So, we know what internal audits are now, and we know that the business or someone external to the business can perform them. But who are the internal auditors? What are the goals during this work? Well, an internal auditor's role is to perform independent audit of the company's compliance. As an auditor, you need to provide independent assurance that the business is meeting their risk, the governance and the internal processes effectively. By implementing internal audits, you as an internal auditor can provide the management and the board of directors with assurance that the business is complying with the standards where appropriate. Or if there's any areas of concern that have been identified, then an action plan can be put in place, undertaken to improve and remediate these areas of concern moving forward. You don't have to fully review the company every time, but you must ensure that you cover the whole company throughout the course of the year or the audit plan. As we've mentioned, internal auditors can be anyone within the business, however they do need to be trained up sufficiently, so this could be through providing audit training or by hiring an external company to perform the audit duties for you and have that independence in place. When you are performing internal audit duties, the part of the audit process you need to think about is some of the following actions. So are you as a business working towards your core defined objectives? Have you defined and managed your risks appropriately by the needs of the business? Are your policies and procedures being reviewed, kept up to date and being applied correctly within the business? Is there any areas within the business which can be improved upon? If working with ISO standards, have you met the controls that are being looked at and asked for? Now, internal auditors have a responsibility to ensure that the business meets these requirements of the standards that you're working towards and they're being audited against. That they ensure that the business is doing everything in their power to ensure that the improvements are being made where necessary, and the business is reviewing these changes and the business environment is being streamlined. So we're looking for continuous improvement as we go forward. This is generally looking to ensure that the business is improving the operations, looking to ensure that the various practices are put in place and things like that. So we're looking to make sure that sufficient monitoring and identification of risks are being logged and reviewed by the business, so risk assessments. Reviewing the business compliance towards the laws and regulations, so what you have to comply with. Making recommendations for improvements, so this is the continuous improvement. And for an auditor to perform internal audits, as we mentioned before, auditors must have the education in place and they must have qualifications in place to carry out these audits where necessary. They must be experienced and it can be anyone within the business, but they've got to have that independence in place there to carry out the audit and have the backing by head office to go from there. Now when it comes to audits, there are two main types of audits. We've got the internal audits, where we're discussing today, and we've got the external audits. Internal audits are generally defined by the business and are controlled by the business. The business is using these audits to improve internal business operations and ensuring that the business is adhering to the standards that you're working against, whether it's 9001, 27001. These types of audits help to ensure communication within the business and catch any possible issues that might affect the day-to-day running of the business or the compliance against various standards. However, external audits are conducted via an external certification body which is regulated, and these are there is less flexibility when it comes to these ones. The external auditor will usually want to see the evidence of your internal audit reports as well as any compliances that have been found. Internal audits carry out throughout the year, whereas external audits are generally carried out once a year for surveillance audits. When conducting an internal audit, paperwork and impartiality is key. The internal audit process is usually made up of some of the following sections. So we have planning, we have implementation, we have reporting, and we've got acting. And these can be based around the plan, do, check, act cycle or process, PDCA. And that's it pretty much. We hope you find this information useful. If you'd like some more information about performing internal audits or external audits or the audit process alone, like the video, comment below the video with any comments that you have, and we can further improve upon that. So until next time, see you later.